Osrc News at 7. Governor Aiyedatiwa revives long-stalled Owena Dam project for sustainable water supply. Nigeria's military intervention in Benin Republic's coup attempt sparks debate among constitutional experts. ECOWAS declares regional state of emergency over wave of coups instability. And from the foreign scene, authorities in Khartoum work to restore capital after years of conflict.
Good evening and welcome to the news. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. The Senate has approved President Bola Tinubu's request to deploy Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin in support of efforts to restore peace. Senate President Godswill Akpabio announced this during plenary after lawmakers considered the request in the Committee of the Whole in line with Section 5, Part 11 of the Constitution. The senators unanimously voted in favor of the deployment, given legislative backing for the regional security intervention. Akpabio described the decision as a step in the right direction, noting that instability in any neighboring state poses a threat to the entire region. He underscored that it is Nigeria's responsibility to support its economic community of West African states, ECOWAS partners. The Senate's consent letter will be transmitted to President Tinubu immediately. Meanwhile, 8 soldiers appeared on Benin's national television declaring the removal of President Talon, the dissolution of the government, and the suspension of all state institutions. Loyal forces quickly responded, supported by airstrikes and troop deployments from Nigeria, successfully thwarting the coup attempt. In this report, Joy Pius examines the failed coup and Nigeria's role in deploying military resources to help protect democracy in Benin Republic.
Gunfire erupted in multiple neighborhoods across Cotonou, soon followed by heavily armed soldiers appearing on state television.
Toutes les institutions sont dissoutes.
Taking power at this moment reflects the CMR's firm determination to end the exclusion of all social groups in our country without any distinction during the transition and to restore national cohesion.
A group called the Military Committee for Refoundation, led by Colonel Tigri Pasca, declared the dissolution of national institutions, suspended the constitution, and closed Benin's land, air, and maritime borders. They justified their actions by pointing to the worsening security in northern Benin and the neglect of fallen soldiers. This attempted takeover would have been the latest in a series of power seizures across West Africa, where Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Niger have all experienced coups since 2020, if not for Nigeria's intervention. At the request of Benin President, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu deployed fighter jets and ground forces to help stop the coup, successfully preventing the takeover. The move elicited reactions. While some praised the president's bravery, others questioned whether it was constitutional.
They went there to protect democratic government in Nigeria because, as a matter of fact, in the whole world today, particularly in Africa, let me come back to Africa, we don't want a situation where military will be ruling on one side and we are having democratic elected government, because the idea of military government is quite different from that of a civilian government. So if Nigerian soldiers were deployed there to restore peace and return their democratically elected government, it was a good idea. To me, that is my own view.
First, you must understand that ECOWAS protocols on mechanism for conflict prevention, that's the one in 1999, gives the power to all ECOWAS countries to ensure they prevent and intervene in terms of when peace is being challenged in any part of the region. And Nigeria is a major player, in fact, key player in maintaining these things that we have mentioned in this region. So the president acted not only correctly, not only legally, but in the interest of world peace and security, wherein Nigeria is a major stakeholder and also a key player. So nobody should cast aspersion on the president on the grounds of the deployment of troops and all of that. It is part of what we are bound to do, not just as a leading light in Africa, but also as a giant of Africa.
Respondents highlighted Benin Republic's close proximity to Nigeria as a key concern, warning that a successful coup in Benin could threaten Nigeria's borders and its democracy.
That is why the Nigerian government is against the coup planners, because ordinarily they wouldn't want a soldier to take over government in Nigeria.
Benin, they are very close to us. If anything happens in Benin, one way or another, it will affect us. So the resources deployed for that particular mission or that particular assignment, you can't call it a waste.
Under Section 5, Subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution, President Bola Tinubu has sought and received Senate approval to deploy troops to Benin Republic. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State has defected to the All Progressives Congress stakeholders meeting at the Government House in Port Harcourt. Fubara joined a host of his colleagues who have defected to the APC this year. The Senate has summoned the Minister of Aviation Festus Keyamo and key stakeholders in the sector for an urgent interaction following public outcry over the sudden rise in domestic airfares. The resolution came after Buhari Abdul Fattah raised a motion on the floor of the Senate, warning that the soaring prices pose a serious threat to mobility and could trigger nationwide travel disruptions in the coming days. Leading the debate, Senator Buhari noted that Nigerians have been complaining in recent months as the cost of domestic flights continue to escalate. He revealed that a one-way ticket from Abuja to Lagos now costs between 400,000 and 600,000 naira, an amount many citizens can no longer afford. The Senate agreed that Keyamo, airline operators, regulators and other industry stakeholders must appear before its relevant committees this week to clarify the reasons behind the soaring fares and to chart an immediate path towards stabilizing prices ahead of the holiday season. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration, NAFDAC, has issued a public alert on the growing circulation of substandard and unregistered edible oils in the country. The agency, in a statement posted on its X handle, disclosed that products identified Lagonic, adding that the oils whose sources, production processes and safety standards are unknown are being smuggled into Nigeria and openly sold under the multiple brands names in major markets across cities. NAFDAC disclosed that the products carry no identifiable manufacturer's details or NAFDAC's registration numbers and are absent from its regulatory database, urging members of the public to report suspected substandard or unregistered edible oils to any NAFDAC office. Still to come, authorities in Khartoum work to restore capital after years of conflict. Stay with us.
Oh, remember how mom used to wake up before everybody to make breakfast, iron our uniform? That surprised that woman with something special.
Reward your mom with a trip to Zanzibar in the 2025 3 Crowns Mom of the Year competition. Write a note using each letter in your mom's name and submit with any of these on our website or at any of our collection centers. T's and C's apply. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
DOF Unity Corp 2025 Grand Finale and Head of Year Celebration, a symbol of unity and empowerment. The Dele Omosain Foundation, DOF, is poised to host a spectacular grand finale of the DOF Unity Corp 2025 and Head of Year Celebration, promising an unforgettable day of unity, entertainment and empowerment for the people of Okitipupa and Irele Federal Constituency. This milestone event embodies the foundation's commitment to fostering community development, promoting youth empowerment and celebrating the rich cultural heritage of the region. The event promises to be a thrilling experience featuring the football grand finale of the DOF Unity Corp, empowerment support for youth, women and elderly, cultural games including the traditional Ayo Lokma competition, musical performances from top celebrity artists, and exciting fun activities for the community, giveaways, gift and special surprises. Event details: date 28 December 2025, venue Okitipupa Government Field. Distinguished guest Ambassador Sholaiji, chairman of the occasion, His Royal Majesty Oba George Faduile Diabodi of Ikare Kingdom, Royal Father of the Day, His Excellency Honorable Loki Owonisan Ayedatiwa, Governor of Ondo State, special guest of honor. For more information, please contact 080-3579-2773 or 070-5610-8038.
Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Now, Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has described the groundbreaking of a stalled Owena multi-purpose dam water treatment plant as more than just a project, but a promise to deliver clean, safe and sustainable water to the people of the state. Speaking at the event held in Igbaroke, a federal local government area, Governor Ayedatiwa said what was once seemed like lost opportunities and delayed dreams has now been revived through determination and teamwork. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details of the event.
For years, the people of Ondo State have longed for a steady supply of potable water from the Owena multipurpose dam water treatment plant in Igbaroke, a federal local government area. Although several past administrations have tried to revive this legacy project, their efforts yielded little success. Determined to change this, Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa's administration has taken bold steps to rewrite the story. The groundbreaking ceremony drew people from all walks of life to Igbaroke, the headquarters of a federal government area, including top government officials led by Governor Ayedatiwa himself.
There is a pipe that takes water to the treatment plant. Okay. It's about 500 laid here. Yes, this side. I don't think we can go to not everybody.
After inspecting the multipurpose dam water treatment plant, the governor affirmed his commitment to bringing the project to completion.
Life should be made easy for our people, and that is why water is very, very essential. With not just for drinking, we also through this it will also provide irrigation for our farmers, for food security. So we are here to just do all of that, and then they'll be going there to do the groundbreaking for the laying of pipes.
Commissioner for Water Resources, Public Sanitation and Hygiene, Ayodele Akonde, applauded Governor Ayedatiwa for his dedication to provide the residents with potable water, noting that the project will significantly enhance public health.
The event today is beyond merely breaking the ground, but we are breaking the barriers of scarcity of years of unfulfilled hopes and interrupted dreams of making clean, safe and reliable water available for our people.
Others, including representative of the Minister of Agriculture, hailed the groundbreaking as a decisive government effort to provide safe, sustainable and renewable water.
The Akure Water Supply Project, based on this 60,000 cubic meters per day treatment plant, is supposed to supply enough water to the citizens of Akure and environ until the year 2032.
Projects we are launching today is not limited to rehabilitation of the water alone. It also encompasses water treatment.
We may have resources, but unless there is a vision, that is consistent and well vetted, that we can align, those resources will not come. And even if they do so, we will not achieve the outcome. So that's where I commend the governor.
Governor Aiyedatiwa declared that the era of extended water scarcity in Ondo State has come to an end, promising residents access to clean, safe and sustainable water.
The stalled Owena Multipurpose Dam Water Treatment Plant stood as a reminder of opportunities lost and dreams delayed. Yet, even in those difficult years, our resolve to give water to our people, irrigation to our farmers, and eventually hydropower generation to our people never wavered. Through perseverance, collaboration, and faith, we have reignited that dream today.
The governor explained that the AFDB-supported urban water supply project will rehabilitate the Owena water treatment plant, install new transmission mains to Akure, build 7,500 meters reservoirs, and expand urban water distribution networks. He also launched water quality testing kits and water treatment tablets for households and communities to help reduce cholera and typhoid risks.
This AFDB assisted project will extend this impact even further by strengthening sanitation systems and expanding water coverage across 7 local government areas of Akure South, Akure North, Idonre, Ifedore, Ile-Oluji Okegbo, Ondo East, and Ondo West.
To the glory of God and the benefit of mankind.
Amen. The event also saw the launch of mobile solar-powered irrigation pumps for farmers. From Igbaraoke, in Ifedore local government area of Ondo State, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
In another development to improve livelihood and promote economic development in Ondo State, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Adeniyi Adegbomire, has empowered 650 constituents with multi-million naira items and other incentives. Representing Ondo Central Senatorial District at the Red Chamber, Senator Adegbomire said giving back to society makes him a fulfilled representative. Omoriola Ogunji reports that the event, tagged Adegbomire Renewed Hope Mega Empowerment Program, was held in Akure, the Ondo State capital.
Deep freezers, sewing machines, both local and industrial, hair dryers, tricycles, motorbikes, bags of rice, cash grants, writing materials and school items were among the empowerment materials ready for distribution. Beneficiaries were drawn from the 6 local government areas that make up the Ondo Central Senatorial District: Akure South, Akure North, Ifedore, Ondo East, Ondo West, and Idori. The donor, Senator Adeniyi Adegbomire, lauded the support of members of his constituency for believing in his vision to contribute his quota to the development of the district. He promised sustained efforts in empowerment programs, not just to boost the morale of the people, but also to help them become financially and economically self-reliant.
But I can assure you that this is just one of the empowerment programs that I have in stock for my constituents. We plan very early in the new year to do what we call our own school empowerment, where we intend, as one of the items, to distribute 150 laptops amongst other things.
Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, represented by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Political Matters and Legislation, Babatunde Kolawole, said the empowerment initiative reflects good leadership rooted in passion for community development.
As we gather here today, it is pertinent to state that empowerment is not a destination, but a journey. It calls for perseverance, collaboration, and continued faith in what we can achieve together.
State Chairman of the APC, Ade Adetime, and other eminent personalities at the event commended the senator for his humanitarian services.
We have spent just 2 years plus. I know you will see do other empowerments before the 4-year runs out. And I know he's a man of his word. Pẹ̀lú tó wà tà wọ́n pé tó wà lówó ìjú tó wà tà ẹ lọ. Wọ́n á mọ̀ ìgbé tó wà lówó ìjú tẹ́ ti ṣe ó ju nǹkan tó wà níta yẹn lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n èyí tẹ́ wá ṣe lórí ní pé tọ́ba lọ́nà òun rí ní kọ̀rọ̀ jẹ́ kí èèyàn náà ṣe kí ni kó lè ní bàjá.
Beneficiaries leaped for joy in appreciation of the gesture.
It's paid back to his people. We are very happy.
Senator Adeniyi Adegbomire is a member of the 10th Assembly representing Ondo Central Senatorial District. Omoriola Mubiji, Osrc News.
Moving on to the foreign scene, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has declared a state of emergency in the declaration during the 55th session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level in Abuja. Toure said the developments highlight the imperative of serious introspection on the future of democracy and urgent need to invest in the security of the region. The meeting followed the string of coups in Guinea-Bissau, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, and botched mutinies in Benin Republic, as well as other parts of the sub-region. ECOWAS leaders are expected to convene an extraordinary summit in the coming weeks to adopt concrete measures under the emergency framework, which could include strengthened sanctions, deployment of standby forces, and accelerated reforms to the bloc's protocol on democracy and good governance. Authorities in Khartoum are exhuming bodies hastily buried during Sudan's 2-year conflict. Thousands have been recovered since the army regained control earlier this year, with many more still in unconventional sites like schools and homes. Residents say intense fightings and Osrc checkpoints forced them to bury the dead nearby. Many bodies show signs of decomposition, victims of crossfire, starvation, or lack of health care. So far, 15,000 bodies have been collected, with an equal number likely remaining. Forensic experts are few, and limited funding complicates the process of proper reburial. Authorities warn exhumations and cemetery transfers will take weeks amid ongoing challenges. Kemsalojam has details.
These workers have the difficult task of digging up bodies that were hastily buried behind the school. It is one of hundreds of unconventional graves that were used in Sudan's capital during 2 years of conflict. Now, the bodies are being exhumed to be buried in cemeteries elsewhere. Rajab Juma lives in a gym where some of the graves have been dug. He says people were buried in schools and homes because the fighting made it difficult to move around.
We couldn't go to the cemetery because the shooting was intense, and at night we couldn't move, so we buried bodies in homes. This area was especially hard to move around in. There were few people, and the RSF had checkpoints all over, so we were forced to bury bodies nearby.
Inside the school, another body of what remains of it. Health authorities say the bodies belong to people who were caught in the crossfire or who died from a lack of health care or food. Many of the bodies have been buried for months and decomposed. 15,000 bodies have been gathered from several areas so far, and officials say an equal number are still likely buried, but exhuming them is not easy.
Among the challenges is funding, which is needed to move the bodies, and the number is huge and there are not enough doctors. Forensic experts are few, it's a rare profession, and there are only 3 of us to cover the entire state.
The process is expected to last for weeks as officials work to rehabilitate the capital. But with limited funding and experts to oversee the operations, there are concerns given the body's proper burial might take longer. Kemisola Ojomu, Osrc News.
Let's now turn our attention to the U.S., where Wall Street's main indexes closed lower as investors awaited the Federal Reserve's policy decision, with the Dow down nearly 0.5% and Treasury yields rising. Blessing Obi brings us details.
Wall Street's main index is closed lower on Monday, with the Dow dropping just under 0.5%, the S&P 500 shedding more than 0.33%, and the NASDAQ ticking down modestly. Treasury yields gained as investors waited nervously for the Federal Reserve's policy decision due on Wednesday. Rob Ayworth is Senior Investment Strategy Director at U.S. Bank Asset Management Group.
The down market today, I think, reflects 2 things. One, lots of uncertainty as we head into the Fed's meeting tomorrow with the conclusion on Wednesday. And 2, higher interest rates are really starting to pressure those interest rate sensitive elements of the market, which is hurting elements like the Dow a little more than the S&P 500. So we're seeing a challenge really across that, and yet it was the interest rate sensitive elements of the market that have been the strongest performers to start the quarter. Utilities, healthcare, things like that. That's what we're seeing back off as investors just kind of probably retrench, waiting to hear what the Fed has to say about, is it one more cut and then we're going to take a pause, or is it one more of a series of cuts as we head into the end of Chair Powell's chairmanship in May?
Stocks on the move included Paramount Skydance, which gained 9% after it announced its more than $108 billion hostile bill to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. The move was an attempt to outbid Netflix, which appeared to strike a deal with Warner Bros. Discovery last week. Paramount's announcement sent shares of Warner Bros. More than 4% higher, while shares of Netflix sank more than 3%. Elsewhere, shares of chipmaker Marvell Technology ended 7% lower after used car dealer Carvana beat it to securing a spot in the S&P 500. Carvana shares rallied 12% and shares of Confluent soared 29% after IBM said it will acquire the data infrastructure company for about $11 billion. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
Now talking sports, Osrc Orange FM Chapel has been awarded maximum 3 points after Digital Media Chapel failed to honor their fixture in the ongoing inter-chapel football competition over 2025 under State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists NUJ Media Games. The match, scheduled to hold at Tofowomo 5-a-side football pitch along Ondo Road, Akure, saw Osrc Orange FM Chapel present and ready for action, but Digital Media Chapel did not show up. Following the mandatory waiting period, the center referee awarded Osrc Orange FM Chapel 3 points and 3 goals in line with tournament rules. With the walkover victory, Osrc Arrange FM Chapel progresses to the semi-final stage, where they will take on NTA Chapel on Thursday, 11th December. Reacting after the referee's decision, coach of Osrc Arrange FM Chapel, Olumide Adeloye, expressed satisfaction with the outcome, adding that his team is fully prepared and focused on the semi-final clash. To round up the news tonight, here again is the major highlight. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa says the flag-off of the long-stalled Owena multipurpose dam water treatment plant marks a renewed promise to deliver clean, safe and sustainable water to residents. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Good evening.